The 854th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MMASGPN.
Howdy ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 854 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to the nickname Rat Garbage, RIP. Gumby still can't get over the nickname Rat Garbage not being used by anymore by
Mandel Nolo. Mandel Nolo.
Yeah. So Mango Mandel is the new nickname, but Rat Garbage never die. I am not Rat Garbage. I am. Do we decide my new nickname, Gumby? I guess by this episode,
Christian Soda.
Christian Soda is my name, aka Jeff Fox. Jeff Christian Soda Fox. Thank you for coming to the show. That is Daniel Gumby Reeland. We are talking some PFL for you. PFL tournaments roll on. This is not this such a jam-packed week for MMA. We're not doing 2 PFL episodes this week, just so we have time to cover other events, but we will give you obviously picks for almost the whole card here when we include the light round and stuff like that. So how did PFL World Tournament 6 2025 semifinals go for you, Gumby? Kevin Lee's got his jaw wire shut now, so that's a negative. Kevin Lee had to get
he did not. He was as bad as the odds were. Yeah, that I'm down.
Hey, these things happen in MMA.
I was down 0.8 units. Probably should have just taken the plus what would it be 0.05 units by just fading him. But we did pretty good. The big surprise for me was just how good Jenna Bishop looked on the ground, and it's funny. Yeah. Because, I think I've picked her in every fight she's ever been in.
I was surprised when you didn't.
And I didn't for the first time because I was like, oh, she's up against a good grappler. And then she was like, hey, by the way, there are levels to this.
Yeah.
So, kind of excited for her versus Carmouche. I think that's going to be a pretty sick fight. Carmouche has always kind of been a bully, but, it's never really been, nasty at jiu-jitsu, right? So, that's kind of a fun little mix-up there. I'd be interested to see what happens there. It was overall pretty fun night.
Not to be rude, but it's an old lady fight, but that'll be fun.
Is Jenna Bishop home?
She's late 30s, I think. I don't want to dox these people on their ages, but yes.
She must have just stayed in jiu-jitsu too long, huh? Because she's only fought 9 or 10 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But must have that long jiu-jitsu career because she was an Abu Dhabi qualifier, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she was pretty high level. If you're watching or listening, you both look fabulous, ladies. Okay, you don't look your age. All right, don't worry about that. I'm not saying that you're old bags. It's just MMA. MMA is a young person's sport. That's all.
Is it with women though? It seems with women especially. Women seems like it's the opposite. It's like they're hitting their prime at 35. Yeah. Which is weird. But that's the facts.
That is the facts. All right. What else is the facts is that if you haven't been tuning in already, have they changed the ads? No, I have to scroll up to the right part. College football team previews are back on the College Experience. Colby Dant and Moneyline Mac preview every FBS college football team, and you don't want to miss it. And yes, I've done 800 plus episodes that I still am disorganized, and that's why you people love me so much, though, right? And that it makes Gumby look better if I'm all over the map, right? It's a win-win. All right, we're doing PFL World Tournament 7 2025 semifinals. Another catchy title. They're off to Chicago this time. This is a Friday night event, 8:30 p.m. start time. Oh, it's going to be a super late one then, Gumby, especially with PFL pacing. This is going to be all night long. Yuck. Wintrust Arena, Chicago, Illinois. Only 9 bouts, though, so maybe there's hope that that is not too. Are they not doing a billion alternate bouts like they usually do on these fight cards?
No, I think it's mostly because we're at the end here. Yeah. They have to put the heavyweights on the prelims anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're not covering.
Watch.
We're not covering that. Yeah, for that.
I'll hit him in my lightning round. Just because there's not much breakdown.
Yeah, but we're not covering it in full because they are heavyweights. So this week is all about the 185s, middleweights. It's actually the heavyweight classes: middleweights, light heavyweights, and heavyweights. And we're kicking things off, and we're doing there's one just feature feature bout on the card as well that we're going to cover here. So let's dive into her, shall we? I told you all the info. It is on ESPN, ESPN Plus. Canada, they want you to pay for it with DAZN, I believe, still, as far as I know. All right, 205 semifinal. That would be light heavyweight. Antonio Carlos Jr. from Brazil. Simeon Powell from England. No odds as of this recording. Actually, no, I'm sorry. There is odds. This is the one we do have odds for. So Carlos Jr. we'll talk about first. Cara de Sapato. Tell the people what that means, Gumby.
Shoe face.
Shoe face, of course. 17-6 with 2.
It's actually literally face of shoe.
Which is even better. 17-6, 2 no contests. He's submitted 12 people. He's been knocked out once. He is a durable guy. That means 7-1 with 1 no contest in PFL. 2021 champion, 6-1 over his last 7. He did win his last bout. He went 7-5 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Went 3-0 in the Ultimate Fighter and won the championship of his season. He used to fight at 185 and heavyweight was the tough season. 2013 pro MMA debut. 5-3. For what we have, 5-3 in grappling and a champion. I'm sure he's had much more grappling belts than that, though. Plus 110. Smooth Simeon Powell. 11-1, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 6-1 in PFL. He's won 2 straight. TKO win in his last bout. 1-0 in Bellator. Rip. 9 years younger than Carlos Jr. 3 inches taller. 6 inches reach on him. Minus 150.
I'm gonna go Antonio Carlos Jr. I'm gonna take the slight underdog out of the gate. The biggest, I actually wrote off Antonio Carlos Jr. when he went and did Brazilian Big Brother.
Yep, that's right. I did mention that on the resume. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't know if did he win? Do we know if he won the Brazilian Big Brother?
I don't know.
How come you haven't been up to date on
I should find out. You're right.
Yeah, because we should be talking about that regional championship if he's won Brazilian.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Brother.
That is technically a regional championship.
Yeah,
I think we would have heard about it more if he won, but
I don't know. He was posting it all over social media for like weeks.
Almost
not
like he was
won,
contractually made to do it or something. Let me see. Someone named Amanda Mireles won. And okay. Eileen Worley came in was the runner-up. So
he wasn't even a runner-up.
No.
Oh, that's not a good finish. But seriously, I wrote him off after that, and then he came back and he looked pretty damn good grappling in his last few bouts, and I've been basically reinvigorated in my love for, because I always liked him in the UFC, right? He's fun as hell if you're a fan of grappling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's a jiu-jitsu dude, and he's so sneaky with his jiu-jitsu too. And so, he's going to be fighting Simeon Powell here, who, first of all, has some of the most absurd-looking reach I've ever seen in my life. I think it's 85 inches, his reach is, which is longer than John Jones, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Who?
Simeon Powell's reach is
No, I know, but who?
Yeah, we don't care about John Jones.
We don't talk about that guy anymore.
Yeah, the former champ.
85-inch reach, yeah. So that's
that's
7'1". I think.
But here's the thing, though. Is I think that's a great weapon, and it's part of the reason why I picked him in the quarterfinal matchup. But he's let people get in his kitchen before, despite having a reach like that. He fought Rafael Xavier, who is a guy who was on Octagon and has fought in a bunch of British shows as well. Got up in Powell's face and forced him to fight in there. And same with he let Jacob Neto get too close to him, and actually Neto knocked out Powell. That was the finale to PFL Europe last year, if I'm not mistaken. Powell got knocked out by Neto. He's got good reach, but it doesn't mean people don't get close to him. And he's this tall, lanky guy with maybe questionable takedown defense, and you're gonna put him in there with Antonio Carlos Jr. As soon as Carlos Jr. closes that distance, he's gonna be in on a choke. That's my estimation of this. Again, Antonio Carlos Jr. has kind of thrown up stinkers once in a while too. So who knows? But I think as long as he fights to his potential, that grappling is going to take over here, and he should be able to come out on top. So give me shoe face to kick it off.
Did he leave? I'm thinking he left the UFC and didn't get cut. Is that right, or am I misremembering it? As
a contract expiring, and they couldn't come to terms. It might have been 50-50. It might have been contract expired. He chose to fight it out. The UFC offered him a contract, but it was insulting, and he wound up here.
No, we're wrong. He got released, so I misremembered it.
Was it after he lost a really ugly fight though?
What
was his last loss?
His last loss he went 7-5, so he did okay. He lost to Brad Tavares, which is not,
That's usually the guy who they're trying to cut you from. Yeah,
he actually
Brad
lost.
Tavares is the chopping guy.
He lost three straight. Ian Heinisch, Uriah Hall, Brad Tavares. And like, okay, we've had enough. I can see that now.
If you're not out grappling Uriah Hall, it's probably time to go.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, we're moving on to actually we're sticking with 185, but there's a Canadian in this bout. So
that last one was 205. Was that last one?
205. You're right. I'm sorry.
This one's 185.
This one's 185. Canadian in it, so we already know who Gumby's going with. Dalton Rosta, United States of America versus Aaron Jeffery, the Canadian from Canada. Obviously, that's where Canadians are from. 3-5-minute rounds, 185. We'll tell you about Rosta first. Hercules, and boy, is he ever?
Yeah, this dude's ripped.
It's insane. It's insane how muscular he is. He is 10-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. Never been finished in a fight. 1-0 on PFL. He's won 2 straight. Submission win in his last bout. 9-1 Bellator. Rip. Used to fight at 205. 3 years younger than Jeffery. An inch of reach on him. Plus 110. But muscles make you tired. Hopefully Aaron Jeffery knows that. Aaron Jeffery's 16-5. Mullets don't make you tired, hopefully. Does he still have the mullet and the mustache combo?
I'm pretty sure, but I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, he has like a logo and everything, I think, based on that. He's 16-5, 9 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. Both these guys are pretty durable dudes. 1-0 on PFL. He's won 2 straight and 6 of 8. He went 4-2 in Bellator, RIP. 0-2 in Contender Series. You remember both people he lost to, Gumby?
Yeah, the first one was Brendan Allen, which is a tough ask, and the other one was Kai Ohio.
Yeah, he had a tough go there.
Yeah, that's a really bad combo right there.
He does have multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. 2014 Pro MMA debut. He's 2 inches taller than Rosta, minus 150.
You missed something.
Oh, this is a rematch. Damn it.
Rematch.
Really?
Yeah, Dalton Rosta's only loss in Bellator was to Aaron Jeffrey. And I'm going to pick. No, I'm going to pick him anyway.
Damn you.
First of all, it's not because he's Canadian. It's because Dalton Rosta is built like an Adonis.
Yes, Gumby is into a fighter's bodies. It's true.
I mean, so he's ripped and he uses the strength really smartly. He doesn't tire out. He's a good grappler, all those types of things. And like, I think he lost to Jeffery because Jeffery tagged him early in that fight. I don't know if you haven't seen the fight. You didn't know they fought.
I might have seen it. I forget things.
Yeah, but to any of you who have seen it, like Jeffery landed some like pretty impactful leg kicks early in that fight. And I think it messed up Rosta, either messed up his game plan or he just, didn't feel as confident on his speed anymore or whatever it might be. Like, I think those leg kicks completely changed the tenor of the fight. And I think if you just go in and you say, hey, Dalton, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. And this time, when he throws that leg kick, check it. And he does, he's going to win. Like, I think he's the better fighter. And we've seen like Aaron Jeffery, like, have issues with wrestlers. I mean, we just mentioned Brendan Allen, right? We just mentioned, that's kind of how Kai Ohio beat him up. Like he loses to guys who are good at taking him down. Although I think he does have a win over Andre Petrosky, if I'm remembering correctly, on the regional scene. Although that win is becoming less and less valuable seemingly by the day. But yeah, so like I've seen wrestlers get to him, and I know that the calf kick worked the first time, but I don't feel like Rosta is going to be like just there to get beat by the same thing the second time. So give me Dalton Rosta. I think he corrects his issues and learns from his prospect loss.
All right. Before we dive into more plays, a reminder: the Circus Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway is on right now. Circus Resort and Casino Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. You'll get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. You can always get 15% off at all the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. Enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free at sportsgamblingpockets.com/circa. That would be sportsgamblingpockets.com/CIRCA. And we're brought to you by the mighty MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including MMA, naturally. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. They'll have the PFL lines up. If they don't have them up as of this recording, they should be up very shortly. And when you do go check out the lines there at MyBookie.ag, use our promo code MMA SGPN to sign up. And that way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right. He faded the Canadian. Gumby was fading Canadians well before it was cool to fade Canadians. All right, everyone?
We vaguely tried to put together a shirt that said fade the Canadians.
Yes.
I
don't know if we can do that now. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as funny anymore.
Oh, yeah. I realized that's not. Whoops.
It used to be funny. We were ahead of the trend, Gumby. We were well ahead of the trend.
Whoops.
All right. We're going to a non-tournament bout bantamweight, right? Sergio Pettis, Raufeon Stots. Was this supposed to be on a canceled card, or was it always?
I think maybe, but I don't remember.
Yeah, probably it might have been on one of the Europe ones or one of the ones that they were going to cancel, that they ended up having to cancel. Anyhow, should be a good bout regardless. They're both from the United States. They're fighting at bantamweight. We're going to tell you about Mr. Pettis. First, the Phenom. He's like 31 now. I don't know if he's still a Phenom, but still 20. He's had 30
I don't know
fights.
If he ever was a Phenom.
No. 30 fights. That definitely doesn't make you a Phenom at this point. He's 23-7, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. This is his PFL debut. He's lost 2 straight fights. Before that, he won 6 straight. He's not fought since June 2024. He's not won since June 2023. He went 5-1 to Bellator and was the champion there. Previously, 9-5 in the UFC. Regional champ. Used to fight at 125. Did he ever fight a bantamweight in the UFC? I think he was always 125 in the UFC.
I think it was just 25.
Yeah. 2011 Pro MMA debut, 5 years younger than Stots, plus 200. Super Stots, SUPA. 21-2, 4 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. These guys owe us some finishes, Gumby. Yanni is betting this fight to end inside the distance for sure. He's gone 1-0 in PFL. He's won 2 straight and 13 of 14. Submission win in his last bout. 8-1 in Bellator in the former champ, RIP. For both Bellator guys, and they're both former champs, so that's fun. Regional champ as well, 2015 Pro MMA debut. 1 professional grappling bout, which was a draw. 1 inch of height, 4 inches of reach, advantage over Pettis, minus 300.
Yeah, I'm going Raufeon Stots. I've always kind of liked Sergio Pettis, but the fact of the matter is he didn't look real great in his last couple of MMA bouts. Mm-hmm. And then it seemed like he was like almost done with MMA. Like he went and boxed, right? Like there was a recent boxing match I'm remembering, and I don't even think he looked good in that boxing match. And then so you're gonna go from saying like, okay, maybe I'm done with this MMA thing, or I'm gonna go box, or I'm interested in doing everything, which when has that ever gone well for a UFC fighter, right? When they're like, we're gonna mix and match and then come back. I mean, I guess it worked for Francis Ngannou, who I guess even though he didn't win his boxing matches, he made a buttload of money and then came back and he could beat anybody in PFL with one hand tied behind his back.
If he's allowed to fight ever,
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't typically work. And it's sort of that, same as, I'm kind of talking about retiring. That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm dabbling in boxing is basically 1 foot out the door. And, Stots is a guy who, if you're thinking about only boxing, I got some real terrible news for you about fighting Raufeon Stots, because that dude's just going to be all over your hips. This guy's going to shoot 100 takedowns. He's going to be inside on each and every single one of them. I mean, the only loss he has in his last 15 fights or something like that is when he took a bad shot on Patchy Mix and Patchy Mix knocked him out. Now, granted, some people are going to look at that loss now and be like, maybe that didn't age so well, especially because it was Patchy Mix throwing a strike. But it was
that's weird. He used to throw strikes once in a while.
Yeah, but it was mostly just he got caught coming in to doing what he was doing best anyway. So yeah, I think Raufeon Stots just dominates this with his grappling. I think he suffocates Pettis, makes him fight inside a phone booth when it's on the feet, and when it's not on the feet, I mean, he's going to have all the top positions and all the control. So give me Raufeon Stots.
If this was in Russia, they would be fighting inside a phone booth, but
they do sometimes.
Yes. It's in the United States instead. All right, let's get to our co-main event. It is the other half of the tournament semifinals at 205. Phil Davis versus Sullivan Cauley. They're both from the United States. We'll tell you about Sully first. He is 7-1, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds. That's the epitome right there. 1-0 in PFL. He's won 2 straight. He's not lost since March 2023. 6-1 in Bellator, RIP. 12 years younger than Davis, 1 inch taller, plus 175. Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis, 25-7 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts, 5 submissions. He has never been finished in a fight. That is durability there. 1-0 in PFL. He's won 3 of 4 and 6 of 8. TKO win in his last bout. He's not lost since June 2023. Someone's snapping their winning streak here. 11-4 in Bellator and the former champ, RIP. 9-3 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 2008 Pro MMA debut. a wrestling champion in college, 4 inches reach over Cauley, minus 260.
I think we got Phil Davis at a really nice number in the quarterfinals. I think he was an underdog, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he fought now, but I think he was an underdog in the quarterfinals.
I can tell you all of that stuff, with one click of my mouth.
Yeah.
Rob Wilkinson, he won
was
punching and ground and pounding.
Yeah, plus, he knocked him out. Yep. And I think he was higher when we broke down the fight. I think the money came in on him. And I'm going to take Phil Davis again. I was a little surprised he was this big of a favorite against Sullivan. Cauley, Cauley is a really sharp wrestler. I was talking about when we were breaking down the quarterfinals, I was talking about how he was kind of like a fun long shot pick to win the tournament. In that he could seemingly wrestle almost anybody, which would surprise people as long as he stayed out of submission. Like him and Antonio Carlos Jr. would be a fun ass fight. The problem is I don't think he can wrestle Phil Davis, right? Like Phil Davis continues to be a really great wrestler. A lot of things have gone away from Phil Davis. I think I said when I broke down their last fight, a lot of things have gone downhill for Phil Davis, but his grappling hasn't. Well, and then in his last fight, it didn't look like his striking has either. In fact, it might be better than it was in the UFC, knocking out Rob Wilkinson and stuff like that. So he continues to be an above average wrestler, like a well above average wrestler. And I think his striking is actually a little better than Cauley too. He's just long enough in the tooth where he's gotten the experience on the feet that Cauley probably still needs. Cauley still needs to work on a lot of those things. He's maybe less finished than Phil Davis. And I think Phil Davis is just going to stuff the takedowns. I think he get takedowns of his own. I think he's going to be sharper on the feet. So I'm a little surprised by the negative 260, and it probably won't be all that playable for me for that reason. Just because Cauley is a good wrestler. Who knows? I like Davis, but I don't like negative 260 Davis.
No. What is playable for Davis, do you think?
175?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 175.
Well, someone go bet on put a bunch of money on Cauley for us, all right? And then we'll we can bet on Davis. All right, before we get to our main event and our lightning round picks, it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick'em play. They went long for the NBA finals, but now that NBA and NHL are over, they still have a bunch of other sports for you. MLB, golf, and of course MMA. Gumby, what do you have for us?
We got on Tuesday, we got the Red Sox visiting the Angels. The Angels strike out a ton, or at least have lately. And we've got Garrett Crochet on the bump. Yeah, he's been putting up over his last 3 games. He's averaged 8 strikeouts a game. I think he's going to go for double figures here against the Angels. So take the higher than on Garrett Crochet's strikeouts.
Excellent. And take the code MMASGPN. Use that when you sign up, and that way you can claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So underdogfantasy.com, MMASGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will be. Have you discovered anything recently on there, Gumby?
Well, I mean, the Garrett Crochet stuff is pretty obvious, but the high strikeout numbers from the Angels is what got tipped off to me in the Rhythm Power Trends. So that even though you might already like a guy like Garrett Crochet, knowing who he's going to strike out too much is always a good thing to know as well.
Gummy's going to get so rich off Power Trends, he's not going to want to do the show anymore because they're telling you what to bet on. Not good. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. And who would I ever replace Gumby with? All right. When the few times you've replaced me, people enjoyed the person you had on more than me. So hopefully, if I
shout out to KCP.
Hopefully,
it's been a long time.
If I am away for a show next week, hopefully you don't get someone good to fill in for me. That's all I'm saying. All right, we are going to the main event, 185, a middleweight tournament semifinal. Fabian Edwards, England. Josh Silveira from, I want to say Brazil, but no, that's his father. He's from United States of America. 3 5-minute rounds. I'll tell you about Konina first. Little Conan, Silveira, 14-4, 6 knockouts, 6 submissions. He has never been finished in a fight. 7-4 in PFL. He's 1-2 over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5. He did win his last bout. He's a 2 weight class LFA champion because he used to fight up at 205. On the betting board, he's at plus 250. Edwards is the assassin. 14-4. 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 1-1 in PFL. Loss win over his last 4. TKO win in his last bout. Went 9-3 in Bellator RIP. 4 inches of reach over Silveira. Minus 400. So a pretty big line to end things here.
Yeah, I'm going with Fabian Edwards all day too. I've been a big fan of Josh Silveira, but I'll be honest. Since coming over to PFL, he's looked just like kind of slow. I don't know how to put my finger on exactly what it is. Maybe it's the level of competition that, like, when he was beating, was it Alex? No, it wasn't Alex. No, didn't he beat Alex Polizzi in LFA?
I think so.
Yeah, but maybe it's fighting that level of competition and then coming over here and fighting, Impa Kasangane and, this guy and that guy. And like, he's just looked slow. And then in his last fight, he beat Mike Shipman, but that was kind of like a gimme fight in this tournament, or as close to a gimme fight as you can get in PFL right now. So like, I'm not putting too much stock in that. And meanwhile, Edwards has looked great recently. He went in there with Impa Kasangane and just beat the hell out of him. And, not that we MMA math around these parts, but Fabian Edwards beat Impa and Impa beat Silveira. That's the thing, is that Edwards has looked so good on the feet lately. And pretty much, if we want to boil it down to things, like, Fabian Edwards pretty much has only lost to people who are, like, very good wrestlers, right? Like, he lost to Johnny Eblin twice and Austin Vanderford, right? I might be missing one more. Did he lose to Costello Van Steenis? Might have lost to Costello Van Steenis, too. But he definitely lost to Eblin, and he lost to Vanderford too. And like, those are like 2 pretty damn good wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And like, I just don't think Silveira brings that level of wrestling, especially at middleweight, where he's not like all as bulky as he could be. He's got to like eat really carefully and worry about his cardio. I think he's just going to get pieced up on the feet. I don't think he's going to get enough of his wrestling going. I think Edwards is going to murder him. So give me Fabian Edwards there.
Fabian Edwards via murder is the prediction here. All right, let's recap, and then we'll get you some bonus plays here, heavyweight bonus plays. He's got Edwards, he's got Davis, he has got Stots, he has got Rosta, he has got Carlos Jr. All right, the lightning rounds, Zep Bamboo and Powell. The heavyweight semifinals are so exciting that they're sticking them on the prelims instead of the main event.
Yeah, I'm going Valentin Moldavsky over Alexander Romanov. You know me, I've been a big Romanov guy since day one. My big problem is that, like, when he fails to hit a takedown, he quits. We saw it 3 times in the UFC, I think, where he doesn't hit a takedown. He looks disappointed, turtles up and lets somebody TKO him, or, just seems like he doesn't want to be there anymore. And Moldavsky can stuff his takedowns. And even if he doesn't quit, like I kind of have expected him to, like, Moldavsky's better on the feet too. So give me Valentin Moldavsky. And then I'm going to go with Rodrigo Nascimento over Oleg Popov. I think you maybe didn't. Somebody's called me out for being a Popov hater, and I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me.
I agree. I've picked against him, I think, in every single fight he's had in PFL, and was paid off handsomely for the underdog play on Denis Goltsov in the finals last year. But I think he just keeps getting favorable matchups, and if he fights somebody who won't give him a takedown, which, like, Rodrigo Nascimento's takedown defense pretty good. I think as long as he stuffs those takedowns, he'll beat Popov. So give me Rodrigo Nascimento and Valentin Moldavsky.
All right, you're set now for PFL. There's more fights. If you want those plays, hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Hit us up in the comment section on our YouTube channel, MMA Gambling Podcast. Hit us up on the old Twitter, SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that account for us. He is at Gumby Vreeland. I am at Jeff Fox Writer there, and on Instagram for me as well. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest. We'll start talking UFC tomorrow again. moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's other podcasts. That would be the Top Turtle MMA podcast. He has the Joker, Jack Hermanson, and TBA, right?
Right, TBA still for the second one.
Yep. So check that out. And of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We'll talk to you tomorrow. UFC pay-per-view. We get 2 this month. It'll be Face of Shoe, Jeff Fox. It'll be smooth. Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.